Hi crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Kato and I'm so happy to be back with another video today. Today I'm showing you a very clean and simple card using some beautiful Syberia Designs products. The star of the show is this fun die set. This is the Petit Periwinkles die set and I can't believe I haven't shown this off on my channel yet. I really love this. It's such a fun one. It comes with two of these branches that have spaces to put the flowers in, and you have individual dies for each flower, so it's really easy to cut them out of different colors of cardstock. Even though I just cut them all out from a pale pink, I was trying to go for some sort of cherry blossom look. I think I made this card a while ago. I just didn't get around to putting the video together. There are also individual dies for the flower centers, and there is a sentiment die in here as well. It says best wishes, so that's also a fun basic sentiment to have in your stash. Now the packaging is pretty helpful for this die set because especially for the flower centers, they do belong on specific flowers. They have very weird shapes and they work for specific flowers in this set and not for others. So the way the dies are arranged in the packaging, the flower centers are closest to the flower they match to, but also on the back of the packaging you can see how this die is put together and you can very easily tell which flower center belongs to which flower as well. I'm adhering everything together with some Barely Art Precision Craft glue, and for those tiny pieces I use a jewel picker to pick them up and put them back in place once I have a drop of glue added to them. Now for my background, I am going for very subtle stenciling. To do this, I am going to put some purple tape on the back of a piece of very pale blue cardstock. This is not white. I know it looks white on camera. It's very pale blue instead. And this is just going to help me keep this cardstock in place without me having to actually put tape on the front of it. It's my idea of a sticky mat. If you have a sticky mat, use that instead, obviously. I'm using the Pureland fan stencil from Syberia Designs. I really like this pattern. It's such a fun one. You can make this really elegant, and for this one I am just going for a very airy light look. But if you do this with gold paste on black cardstock, I think that would be fantastic. I can't wait to make a card with that. I'm going to do some tone-on-tone stenciling, which is why I chose to go for a very pale blue cardstock. I'm using my Inkstand Mini to keep my ink cubes in place, and I am using ink cubes from Pinkfresh Studio and Conquer the 9th. I'm first blending my lightest color to almost the bottom of my card panel, not entirely, and then I go over that with my second lightest color, but I don't go as low, just about halfway down the card. And then my final darkest color I just blend near the top. I want a very subtle tone-on-tone look, so I don't want a stark contrast between my pattern and the background. So to help with that, at the top where my stenciling is darkest, I am going to go over this with my blending brush and with some of that darkest ink. Although I'm not re-inking the blending brush, I'm keeping it very light. I am just going to make sure that there's no super light areas there anymore, so it blends a little bit better with the pattern. I'm using some press and seal to pick up my flowers once I like the arrangement of them. I play around with that for a little bit, and then I pick a piece of press and seal up, and I just pick all my die cuts up like that. Now these are only 2 die cuts, so I could have just not done the press and seal, but I'm trying to use it a little bit more because every time I forget, I end up not liking my arrangement as much as I liked my first arrangement. So yeah, this helps me a little with that. I'm adhering these with Barely Art Precision Craft glue again, so any liquid glue will work. But as you could see on the back of these die cuts, I have backed them with just some scrap pieces of cardstock. So I die cut that same branch die out of some white scrap cardstock, and I'm adding that a little bit for dimension, mostly for stability. These dies are pretty dainty in places, and this just helps me to pick them up and place them nicely on my card and arrange them without me having to worry about creasing them anywhere. Now, this sentiment is probably my favorite from Syberia Designs. It's a large hello die set and the hot foil set as well. The hot foil set I am using with some Teal Glimmer foil from Spellbinders, which is so stunning. I don't use my colored foils enough. I'm trying to use them a little bit more often because I have them, so why not? But usually I stick to gold, but for this one I thought with the blue teal background this would be fun as well. So I'm foiling that with the teal, and I always tape everything in place when I'm foiling. So I am putting some washi tape on the foil, and I'm putting some washi tape to keep my plate in place on the paper, and then I flip everything around and make sure that the hot foil plate is the part that is touching my Glimmer machine. I run it through my die cutting machine and it foils perfectly. You can get some overfoiling where you use the washi tape depending on how sticky your washi tape is and how it reacts to the heat of your Glimmer system. So it takes a little bit of experimenting with your tapes sometimes, but yeah, usually it works out. I'm using that large hello die set. I'm using the shadow layer from that to trim out my hot foil sentiment. I love when companies do this. So they release a die set with a shadow and a scripty layer. And if you want the hot foil, it is also available separately. Plenty of companies are doing that. And I think it's a very fun way to incorporate foiled sentiments. I am always scared to foil straight on a card panel, and this helps me a little bit with that. I cut that out a couple more times from white cardstock, and I'm stacking those together for some extra dimension. I also put a few pieces of foam tape on the back of this sentiment, again to help with dimension. I'm just not putting foam tape where the sentiment is overlapping with my flower die cuts. I'm keeping all of the arrangement at the top of my card. I barely ever do this. Usually I work at the bottom of my card, but I think it really works for this design with the cherry blossom look. Now I did finish this off with some embellishments. I'm not actually sure if I'm going to show that on camera. Like I said, I filmed this video a while ago and then didn't get around to editing it. But I'm very glad I did, because I really do love how this card turned out, and these dies from Syberia Designs deserve some love, so I hope you check them out. All of the products that I used today will be linked in the description below. Where possible, I have used affiliate links at no extra cost to you. You can shop through these links and I will get a small percentage of the sale. Another way to easily support me is just by subscribing to my channel. If you like what you see, you can find plenty of more videos on my channel, and I post quite regularly. I'm uploading a lot more these days, so if you want to see more videos, you can hit that subscribe button and be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.